Okay, I explained my methods of using my scribing tool in order to work the bows down to the point of tillering. Now I want to show you something. I want to show you what I have thus far with my Osage Orange crossbow. My particular bow scale, it's like a fish scale. You hook it on a string and you pull it back, maxes out at 90 pounds. My Osage prod, long before I got to this point, maxed out at 90 pounds, so this thing is pulling a lot more. This is what I have thus far without putting it on the tillering tree or tillering stick and smoothing out the bends. It's hard to see. There is a gink, a natural gink, a waviness to the stave right here, so it doesn't look like a perfect circle because it wasn't a perfect piece of wood. But from my viewpoint, sighting it, this is how I'd sight it down here, seeing that the bend goes all the way down here and it stops right here, which I might be able to squeeze out another inch of bend. And on this side, you know, pretty darn even, pardon me, just using this and then following up by sanding once I work it down to my thinness with my sandpaper to get the growth. There's no way I can hold this up and show you, but you're not going to see it because it's yellow on yellow. To get the growth ring pattern centered down the middle of the limbs, and then having a step in growth rings, even number of steps. I didn't even need to fiddle with it to get to this point. I'm estimating, because I had the string and put it on the ground and put my feet on the bow and like do a power lift well beyond 90 pounds, because it's 90 pounds almost just to get the first bend in it. I'm pretty happy with this thing. I can tell you in all honesty that pulling this thing back to this part was frightening, because I don't have the tillering tree on the wall and I'm not standing back. I mean, I'm right here, and I've made heavy bows and exploded them on my device, the Destructomatic 3000, standing back 15 feet. It's like a giant nutcracker just to watch the things blow. And I'm telling you, if you see a self bow explode that has a draw weight in excess of 100 pounds, the thing is like a shotgun. You don't want to stand anywhere near it. And that's exactly why I don't sell the heavyweight self bows anymore. The heaviest one I made was a self bow of, the person had a short draw length. At what was it, 25 or 26 or 27 inches, it was pulling 175 pounds. And I had drawn that thing on my Destructomatic, you know, with the lever and then just on my weight. I drew that to 31 inches. And so using your calculation, the increase in draw weight per every inch of draw, I drew it, let's just say it's 26 inches of draw, because he's a powerful man but didn't have long arms. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 30. Add 5 inches of draw weight onto a 175 pound bow. It must have been drawing over 200 pounds at that point. And again, my scale didn't go anywhere near that. Well, that is that. Now, it leads me to an interesting point. Now, you can study the English war bows. I'm not going to really get into those much, but they're wood. So a lot of them, they were weapons used in battle. So a lot of them didn't survive. There's a lot of bows that existed that are no longer here, the wood things. And probably, and I'm going into the world of probably, there were probably a lot of crossbows that didn't survive also. And a lot of crossbows that had wooden prods. Now, and I talked a little bit about this, the old steel crossbow prods, not the greatest material, not very efficient. And you know, I am at the locking point, you know, for a steel crossbow. They didn't really have this amazing like power stroke draw length. But what if you were to take a steel crossbow let's just say 400 pounds. That's a pretty good one, with a power stroke of 4.5 inches. And then match it up against this thing, you know, well over 100 pounds. And if I could get a 6 or 7 inch power stroke out of it, how would it compare? You know, simply because you're having more length of push. This could certainly, like, got renegade cats, you know, knock a person down. And so I could even extend this a little bit, get a longer power stroke, because keep in mind, the longer the draw length power stroke, we're going between bows and crossbows, the more efficient it is, the more energy you're going to part into that projectile in joules or foot-pounds. And so I believe, I say that a lot, I believe that there were a lot of wooden prodded crossbows, and just sinew back the thing. You don't even need to go to the trouble of putting, you know, horn on this, especially if it's a yew prod. Yew is like, in many ways, Osage orange, or let's just say juniper, some of these other woods that combine with sinew to make really good bows that increase the draw length considerably. You know, take a 100-pound bow at, I like to throw these numbers out here, at a 4.5 inch power stroke, it's going to be nothing. But you take that same 100-pound bow and get the power stroke, almost bending the bow backwards. I mean, if I sinew back this thing, I could pull this thing back to, you know, probably a 16-inch draw length, which would give me an amazing power stroke. Creating, just with sinew and wood, not going to the trouble with horn, an amazing weapon that could far surpass a steel crossbow of much greater draw weight. Now that also leads me to believe, this is really cool, I got crossbow fever. Hey man, what kind of trigger mechanism? And I think I'm going to go simple on this one. The one that has, you know, either a lever up here, I don't like that because you can't like sight down to aim it, but the trigger down here that pushes up a pin exactly like this, it shoved this thing up. Now with a heavy crossbow, there's going to be a lot of friction on this thing, but I can cure that very easily. I've got horn. I'm going to make a super slippery horn plate that's going to be, my face is in the absolutely worst place to have this, and if this wasn't Osage, you know, sitting here drawn to over 100 pounds, I'd be scared, but this stuff is pretty good. A very slippery horn plate, and then it's going to increase the simplicity of my design greatly, and then it'll be able to slide up the horn plate. I never made one before, so I need to work on like the shape of this. Do you have it so it goes straight up, and then like a slate thing that goes this, because I don't know if the string's going to jump up and go over the end of the bolt. I don't know. An experiment, but I think that'll work out. As bow makers, or as students of bows, medieval weapons in general, philosophy, we must strive to understand irony. And so I'm going to include a link to a video everyone should watch. Everyone needs to watch this video. It is imbued, it is permeated with irony. And you shall see what I'm talking about when you boldly click on the link for that video that I am going to include on this. If you're my friend, you'll watch this. Serious. Very serious. You will learn the meaning of life from this video. Anyway, this is so cool. I love how you just mark this out, make the lines a little thinner here, a little thicker in the center, and provided that you work precisely with your rasp, getting it down to that line, flattening it, and even with that wide farrier's rasp, you can follow the waves in here. It's just a matter of technique, and then sand it down. Congeal your technique with the sandpaper. It's just a matter of doing that and not even stressing a lot with scraping and sanding and stuff on it once it's on a tailoring stick. And so, my friends, this is so cool. Ah, God. Look at, this thing has been sitting here for a half an hour or more, fully braced, and it's got like no string follow. Love this stuff. If I sinew back this thing, which I'm not because we're all waiting to see this thing work, I can certainly play with it, show you how it functions, and then sinew back it, and then make another prod. Impressive stuff. Oh, sage, can you see? Have a good one. Thank you for watching.